Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton and we are finishing the month of June with our Guitar Heroes. I hope you've enjoyed it. Go back and look over the past 30 days and tell me what you think. I'm sure I left out some great Guitar Heroes and some people you were probably waiting on me to talk about that I didn't. Suggest them down below. If I've got the album, I might feature them on a future Daily Record, but we're going to move on to something else for the month of July. But we're going to finish out Daily Records Guitar Heroes with probably the greatest guitar hero of all time. We're going to talk about the great Les Paul. No, Les Paul is not just the name of a guitar. He is an actual person who designed the Gibson Les Paul guitar. And so this is an album, and I'm not really going to talk so much about the album itself because it's a little collection. It's a 3-record box set that I got on the Murray Hill label, which is a subsidiary of Capitol, I believe, Capitol Special Markets. This is Les Paul and Mary Ford, their all-time greatest hits. This is a 3-album set, and it basically collects all of their Capitol singles on a 3-record set. And so this is pretty much all the essential stuff, starting with 1948's Lover in Brazil, and it just goes all the way through. And so a lot of those songs are on here. Their version of How High the Moon, I'm Confessing, Lover, I'm Sitting on Top of the World, Cinco Robles, Goofus, Smoke Rings, Jazz Me Blues, anything that they did, Tiger Rag, Tennessee Waltz, anything that may have remotely been a hit for them, there it was. But in addition to being a guitar hero, and we'll talk about it a little bit here, Les Paul, he developed a solid body electric guitar. He was self-taught. He played mainly jazz music, but he also delved a lot into popular music, and he had a little bit of a career in country music, but not much. I think you could definitely say he was more of a jazz player as well. But he invented, or he was one of the inventors of the solid body guitar, the Les Paul guitar. Pretty much anyone that's picked up electric guitar in the last 50 years owes a debt to the great Les Paul. But he had a very interesting playing style. He had a lot of licks. He played interesting chords, but the trills were interesting, and he fretted a lot. So he just has inspired countless guitarists, and they sold a lot of records. Mary Ford was his wife, and they recorded a lot of big hit songs. Now, he is one of the few artists, if you go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, he is one of the few artists that has this sort of permanent exhibit there, because he is considered an architect of rock and roll, along with Sam Phillips, Alan Freed, of course. And so his influence is widely felt. But another thing to talk about, in addition to building the Les Paul, which he created in 1940, he called it the Log, and it was basically a big wooden board. But the idea is that it had this incredible sustain, so on and so forth. You could talk forever about the Les Paul guitar in and of itself and the influence. But another big thing that Les Paul was highly influential in was multi-track recording. He was one of the early experimenters with studio. He wasn't really happy with the way his records were sounding, and so he kind of thought he sounded like everybody else. And so I think it kind of started, I think the famous story is his mother commented on a song that she heard on the radio, and it's like, oh, I really like this song of yours. Well, it wasn't his song, it was someone else. And so he started really branching out with his playing techniques, but he also started using multi-track. He started layering the vocals and really pioneering that. So we owe not just the guitar innovations to Les Paul, but recording innovations are also owed to Les Paul, because he sort of developed what is now kind of common in music. So even if you're not a guitar player, but you're a fan of recording, the Beatles, Brian Wilson, Buddy Holly, they all owe a lot of their innovations to what Les Paul was doing. So it was really, really, really interesting. He also invented the flange effect. So he, the guy was just an innovator. He was one of the great innovators of music and of recording. And so we all should thank the world for Les Paul, because he gave us a lot, and he gave us a lot to think about. So I'm going to close out Guitar Hero Month with the great Les Paul and his wife Mary Ford, their all-time greatest hits, today's daily record. If you find this set out there, I think this came out in the 70s. It's a really nice set, and certainly worth seeking out. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's Tommy Burton75. Check out my other channel, Tommy Burton's VC channel. In the meantime, I will see you all again tomorrow with another daily record.